What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we've got a Hoops and 5 style emergency session because we just watched a Game 7 that actually lived up to the hype. Philadelphia and Boston, win or go home, and yeah, history was sitting right there on the table.
If you're a Sixers fan, you're probably still pacing around your living room. If you're a Celtics fan, you might be staring at the wall. Because the 76ers went into Boston and won Game 7, 109-100.
And to be clear, that means Philly completes the 3-1 comeback. That's not just a nice series win. That's one of those outcomes you remember, because not many teams in NBA history even get out of that hole.
Especially not on the road in Boston, with that building ready to erupt. It's the kind of setting where you're supposed to fold. Instead, Philly looked like the team with all the answers.
Let's talk about why. This game was basically powered by superstar-level production across the board. Joel Embiid was a problem all night, 34 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. That's not just scoring, that's controlling the whole rhythm of the game.
And Tyrese Maxey matched the moment too. He had 30 points and 11 assists. You could feel it. Anytime Boston started to get a little hope, Maxey would hit a shot or create something, and the air would come right back out of the building.
Also, how about VJ Edgecombe? 23 points in his first Game 7. First one. That's a big stage to look comfortable on, and he did more than just hold up. He contributed like a real third option.
Boston did have Jaylen Brown fighting. He dropped 33. He tried to drag them there. But we have to address the biggest plot twist before the opening tip. Jason Tatum didn't play.
Yeah, ruled out before the game with injury issues. And once that happened, the math changed. Not just points, but who creates shots when everything gets tight in the fourth quarter.
Because Game 7 always turns into that. Half-court possessions, the defense ramps up, and it becomes, can you generate good looks when the easy stuff is gone?
And for long stretches, Philly controlled it. They built a lead that got as big as 18. That's not a little run. That's a statement, especially in that arena.
Boston did make it interesting late, though. They got it down to basically one possession with time left where you could hear the crowd come back to life.
Right, like that moment where you're thinking, okay, here comes the classic Celtics surge, here comes the chaos. But then it didn't turn into a comeback. Philly answered.
And the difference was pretty simple. Shot creation, execution when it got tense, and honestly just more offensive firepower available. Philly stayed calm. Boston started forcing things.
Which brings us to the bigger story of the series. This wasn't just one game. Philly was down 3-1. They were staring at elimination twice, and this is a franchise that's worn a lot of playoff baggage for years.
And they flipped the entire script. Not with a lucky bounce, but with their best players actually playing. Like their best players when the pressure was the heaviest.
Meanwhile, Boston looked like a top team in the East early in the series, like they had it under control. Then the momentum just leaked out, and once the Tatum news hit, it felt like everything got a little more fragile.
That's what makes this series feel like a narrative changer. For Philly, it's the kind of win that people point to later and say, that's when they stopped being a punchline and started being a real threat.
And for Boston, it's a rough one. You're up 3-1. You're in a Game 7 at home. And it ends with you watching the other team celebrate on your floor.
All right, player of the night. I don't think we need much debate here.
It's Embiid. 34, 12, 6, and he looked in control. In a Game 7, that's what MVP-level dominance looks like.
So that's the recap. Sixers finished the 3-1 comeback. Celtics fall at home. And we get one of the wildest Game 7 swings we've seen in a minute.
That's it for us today. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.